Unconditional love and peace to all of you. Thank you for being here with me today. My name is Tyler Ellison, and I am going to be talking to all of you guys today about an experience that I had with frog poison. Now, before I get into this, I'm just going to get a disclaimer out there. Everything I am about to tell you is for informational purposes only. It is by no means medical advice. It should not be interpreted as medical advice. Check with your medical providers and your medical professionals before you make any changes health-wise to your lifestyle, to your diet, and especially before you consider taking anything that is out of the ordinary. So everything I'm about to say is strictly for informational purposes only. Now, I recently had an experience with a frog medicine called Kambo. And this is essentially a poison that is secreted from a frog that comes from the Amazon rainforest. And the way the medicine is administered is that a stick of incense or something like that is lit on fire, right? So it becomes hot at the tip. And then on different parts of your body, you're then prodded with this, hot stick, and it creates little circular burns on you. These burns then become the site for the frog poison to be administered. So this poison, it looks very waxy. If you look at it, it's like a waxy type of consistency. And once it's put onto these burn sites, you start to feel the effects pretty fast. It comes on in about 10 seconds. And it feels like you've been poisoned. I mean, it's not easy. It's a very challenging medical experience. But you feel like you're swelling up. You can feel your heart beating. You can hear your heart beating in your head. It's very intense. You start feeling nauseous. And what's happening in your body is essentially this poison is circulating throughout your bloodstream, and it's getting into the organs. And it's not enough to kill you, but it is enough to kill off cells that are weak. And that is an effect that's called the Hermetic Effect, where medicines or activities essentially kill off weak cells and make the stronger cells stronger. And that's sort of what's happening in the body. Another thing that's happening is the liver and gallbladder, which hold on to bile and can also hold on to fat and sort of like liver sludge, These organs, liver and gallbladder, get purged, and the bile and the waste, instead of going into the intestines, which it normally does to assist in digestion, the bile and the waste then goes into the stomach. And it's not supposed to normally be in the stomach. That's not what your body does. But that's what this medicine does. And it builds up in the stomach, and because it's not supposed to be there, you get all nauseous, and you're like, oh God, this sucks. And then you throw it up, and you literally vomit bile and fat and liver sludge out. And I must say, as a medical professional in training, this is one of the most powerful medicines I have ever experienced. It is incredibly healing both physically and emotionally. In Chinese medicine, we talk about the liver relating to a part of our psychology that has to do with emotions and has to do with stress and has to do with higher consciousness. And right when the liver physically is not doing so hot, we can be more prone to emotional burdens, we can be more susceptible to stress, and our higher thinking can sometimes become a little inaccessible, when the liver physically is being taxed. So this cleans out the liver physically, so it's very detoxifying and cleansing, but also emotionally it is very transformative. Mentally it is very transformative. And I know a bunch of different medical modalities. I've been big into holistic medicine and natural healing for the past about 8 years or so. Just learning about this, going to school for this, and nothing I know penetrates as deeply and cleanses as deeply as this particular medicine called Kambo. Now, I know that this medicine probably sounds crazy, and normally I would not make a video on something like this, just because it's a little bit different than what I normally talk about on my channel, and also too, it's sort of something that's related to my own journey, in a more personal way, but in a essentially a psychic state. I had the spirit of this frog speak to me, and it asked me to advocate for it, and it also asked me to advocate for the indigenous people of the Amazon who extract this medicine and who bring it up here. Because these people in the Amazon are our family, and they have so much wisdom and knowledge and medicine to offer our planet. And right now, they can really use our help. As many of you know, there were the Amazon fires, there is the Amazon deforestation. There's a lot of things going on in the Amazon right now that is particularly challenging in very big ways for these indigenous people who have been practicing this for eons. This is very ancient medicine that is generously from these communities being shared with the planet globally right now. This Kambo medicine, you can get it in the United States, you can get it in other countries. It is global, and that's because these people are, sharing it. Instead of keeping it to themselves, they're sharing it. It's a generous act, and as someone who's received it, I must say it is one of the most powerful experiences I have ever had. It's not easy. It's not pleasant. You feel like you've been poisoned. You feel like you're dying. It is not great. But once you purge, once you make it through, it's game-changing. You feel so much better. You feel insanely good. And it's one of the most important experiences that I have had recently, and has really helped me in my own process of discovering more of myself. It's helped me in my own physical healing processes, my own mental, emotional healing processes. So I am a big fan for these jungle medicines and for the longevity of these indigenous peoples who are generous enough to share them with the rest of the world. So I encourage you, if you find this video inspiring, consider donating to different organizations that support the Amazon rainforest, that support these indigenous people, because there is so much wisdom that they still have not shared with us that is personal to them. And there is a lot about our human history, I believe, that is stored within these communities that will one day be shared with us. And I think to increase the probability of us making these deep ancestral connections, I think it's important we support one another, we help one another as allies. So I encourage you, if you feel inspired to, if it's exciting for you, consider being an ally to these indigenous peoples, And the reason, again, I'm making this is because that was what I was asked to do when I received the different medicines, from these communities. So everybody, again, this is not medical advice. Please, if you're considering any changes to your health regimens or your lifestyle or your diet, talk to your professionals, talk to your doctor. I'm not a medical doctor by any means. You know what I mean? I'm an acupuncturist in training, so it's important that you understand a little bit more of my role with health and all of that. So I'm an alternative practitioner, essentially. So be responsible, listen to your bodies, and if it's exciting for you, consider being an ally and joining me in supporting these indigenous communities. So I'm going to be making monthly donations to these indigenous communities. I donate to a few different causes. 8 billion trees is one of the causes I donate to, and I'm soon going to be donating to the Amazonian communities as well. So if you're inspired, I encourage you to join me in that. And should I find a cause that I'm like, oh, this is a good one to donate to, I will absolutely share it on here. But I encourage you to join me in that if it's exciting and inspiring to you, as a permission slip action you can take in your reality to assist Earth in its transformation into global peace and paradise. So everybody, my unconditional love and appreciation to all of you, and I thank you for joining me in this exciting and exotic video.